Welcome to Audrey's reading area. Shout out to my grandbabies, Korea, Sanaa, David the Third, and Kaden. I miss you guys. I love you guys so much. Well, I'm just going to start reading. Alexa, what time is Audrey's reading area?
Audrey reads in her area live at 8 o'clock p.m.
Live at 8. Live. That's fast, right? Live or slow? Live. Live at 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You got it. 8 p.m. Well, here I am, and I'm going to ask you guys to click that like button and click the share and post. Then go to YouTube. That's YOUTUBE. YouTube. Go to YouTube, look for Audrey's reading area, and smash that subscribe button for me, I say. Smash it up. Well, you guys, I'm just going to jump right into this book. Can you tell who I'm going to read about today? Yes, it's a who. Mighty Joe Young. This is Walt Disney's Mighty Joe Young. Oh, if you guys have ever watched the movie, then you know. Walt Disney presents Mighty Joe Young. Mighty Joe Young, what do you get when you mix a 15-foot gorilla and the city of Los Angeles? A big problem. In this retelling, it's a retelling of the hit Disney movie. Young readers will learn the story of the gentle giant, Mighty Joe Young. And here is a picture. Yes, a picture. Mighty Joe Young. So I'm going to look for who. Adapted by Matt Mitter, based on the motion picture from Walt Disney Pictures. Screenplay by Mark Rosenthal and Lawrence Connor, based on a screenplay by Ruth Rose and a story by Merian C. Cooper. Produced by Ted Hartley and Tom Jacobson, directed by Ron Underwood. Everybody getting their credits. I'll put it to the screen so you can see. Pause and read. Mighty Joe Young. Matt Mitter. Okay, we're going to jump right into this book. These pictures are fantastic. Look at the pictures. Deep in the Pangani Mountains of Africa lived a girl named Jill Young and her mother, Ruth. Ruth was a scientist studying the gorillas that lived in the jungle. Jill helped out with the gorillas too, especially a mischievous baby named Joe. Joe. Looks like him, right? Joe. Ruth tried to protect the gorillas from poachers. Those are hunters who illegally killed animals for money. Poachers. 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 Hunters who illegally killed animals for money. Okay, you got that? But one terrible night, an evil poacher named Strasser and his partner Garth came hunting in the jungle. Ruth tried to save Joe's mother, but Strasser and his men shot them. Both Jill and Joe were left orphans. Oh no. Oh no. Those are the poachers. Let's see what happens next. Jill was raised in a nearby village. Over the years, Joe grew and grew until he was 15 feet tall. He grew bigger and stronger than any other gorilla in the world, but he was always gentle and kind. He especially loved playing hide and seek with his best friend Jill. Even though her furry friend was large, Jill managed to keep him a secret for many years. See? Yeah. But one day, an American scientist named Greg O'Hara was exploring the mountains and discovered Joe. He knew that Joe's life would be in danger if poachers found him. Greg suggested that Jill move Joe to a place where he could roam free from harm. He told her about a wildlife conservancy in the United States where Joe could have a safe home. Reluctantly, Jill agreed to take Joe there. I don't know what else to do, she told Joe sadly. Joe is playing with them. So, Mighty Joe Young. That's it. Joe was loaded onto a plane and flown to Los Angeles. Los Angeles, California, that is. Jill and Greg drove him through the city to his new home. The strange sights and sounds of the big city were amazing. Both Jill and Joe found it a little exciting and a little frightening at the same time. Joe's new home was filled with bushes and trees. The Wildlife Conservancy had tried to make it as much as possible like his mountain home in Africa. Television reporters came to see him, and soon Joe was famous worldwide. Even the evil poacher Strasser saw Joe on TV. Knowing that the gorilla would be worth a lot of money, Strasser came up with a plan to steal Joe. To steal him. See the people there? The people there. Yeah. They wanted to steal Joe. Let's see what happens. We're going to continue reading to see what happens. Uh-oh. He doesn't look too happy here. When the Conservancy held a party to show off their famous gorilla, Strasser and Garth sneaked in. Joe recognized the poachers from his childhood and flew into a wild rage. He broke out of the preserve, terrifying the party guests, making them really scared. Security guards quickly fired tranquilizer darts at Joe while the terrible poachers got away. Oh, man. So they just thought he was some gorilla just going crazy for no reason, but he did have a reason. They just didn't know it. The first part of Strasser's plan had worked. The Conservancy believed Joe was dangerous. They locked him up in a cage. Joe was sad and homesick. Jill was miserable. She was miserable too. She was desperate to find her friend a happy home. Now Strasser put the second part of his plan to work. He approached Jill at the Conservancy, pretending to be the owner of a huge preserve in Africa. He offered to give Joe a safe home. Jill had no idea who Strasser really was. She accepted his offer, and soon they loaded Joe into a trailer. As Jim climbed into the truck, Greg decided to follow behind in a car. Aww. Isn't he cute? Uh-oh. As Jill chatted with the poachers, she recognized something familiar about Strasser. In a flash, Jill realized that Strasser and Garth were the terrible poachers from her childhood. Before they could stop her, Jill fought her way out of the truck. "Joe," she cried, "get out!" Hearing Jill's cries, Joe began to rock the trailer back and forth. Rock the trailer back and forth. The truck weaved out of control and came to a crashing halt. Joe tore his way out and found himself in a maze of lights, cars, and buildings. People on the street were terrified by the huge gorilla. Joe was frightened too. He began to run. You see that? Oh boy. Let's see what happens next. Greg rescued Jill from the street, and together they began looking for Joe. Meanwhile, lost and confused, Joe made his way toward the hills overlooking the city. Greg and Jill followed a police helicopter that was searching for him. The helicopter's spotlight found Joe as he tried to cross a dangerous highway. But by the time Greg and Jill got there, Joe was already gone. "Look," Jill said, pointing to the lights of a carnival far off by the ocean. "That's where he's headed." She knew that the bright light shining over the horizon would catch Joe's attention. They raced towards the carnival, not knowing that Strasser was following close behind. Oh no, look at him. He was the San Bernardino freeway. Oh man. So here we are. It says, at the carnival, people went into a panic. They were very frightened by Joe. As Greg and Jill frantically searched for the big gorilla, Strasser arrived and loaded his rifle. He fired a shot which shattered a searchlight, starting a fire that quickly spread. The blaze swept to a Ferris wheel and trapped several children high off the ground. While Greg tried to rescue the children, Jill kept searching for Joe. Oh man, look at that. Greg is rescuing the children, or trying to. In the thick of the crowd, Jill came face to face with Strasser. He smiled wickedly, one of those evil smiles, and lowered his gun at her. Suddenly, Joe appeared and let out a terrible roar. With one mighty sweep of his arm, Joe sent the evil villain flying into the sea. Back at the burning Ferris wheel, a little boy was still trapped at the very top. Joe saw that that child was in danger. What did Joe do? Can you guess? Yes! He immediately began to climb up toward the stranded boy. Ooh. 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 Let's see what happens next. With one massive hand, big, huge hand, Joe gently lifted the child from his seat and then cradled the boy to his chest. But before Joe could carry the little boy down, the Ferris wheel began to totter, to shake and move. As it plunged to the ground, Joe jumped away from the burning wheel with the child still clutched to his chest. They hit the ground hard, but the little boy was okay. Joe had saved him. Aw, look. Joe saved the little boy. Aw. How cool is that? You see? Aw. And this is when he fell with the boy in his hand. Oh. How cool is that? Joe was hurt, but the 15-foot furry hero was going to be just fine. However, there was still the problem of where he could live. The Conservancy wanted to buy Joe a big preserve in Kenya, but it cost $10 million. When people learned about Joe's problem, donations poured in from all over the world. Soon the Conservancy was able to be built. And they built the Joe Young Wildlife Park. Wow, I would love to visit the Joe Young Wildlife Park. It says Joe Young Wildlife Park. Wow. Look at that. How cool is that? How cool is that? So Jill and Greg went with Joe to make sure that he was comfortable, safe, and happy. You got it. Mighty Joe Young had a home at last. Huh? Look. Look at him. Oh, mess with his little chin. He had a home at last. The end. Oh, Mighty Joe Young. Mighty Joe Young, you guys. When I was little, I used to watch that movie. My mom used to just let us sit there and watch this movie. And it was awesome. It was always awesome. And reading this book to you guys brought back some memories. So thank you for listening to me read this book to you. Walt Disney's book. And my guy here. Mighty Joe. Audrey. Little Mighty Joe Young, right? Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to go to YouTube and look for Audrey's Reading Area and smash that subscribe button and click share, click like, do all of that. So now you know, I gotta say thank you to my mom for always being here. Thanks, Mom, for always being here, showing all that love and support. But I gotta shout out my niece, Emlyn. Emlyn, happy birthday to you, and many more. Happy birthday, Emlyn. I hope you enjoyed your day. Yes. Well, all right, you guys. Thank you once again. Don't forget Audrey's Reading Area and smash that subscribe button for me. Punch it, click it, hammer it, do all that. Just subscribe and tell everybody else to subscribe too. And I will see you again tomorrow, right? Live, Live, live at 8. See you tomorrow here at Audrey's Reading Area.